The massive alien vessel materialized above Earth's atmosphere on a quiet Tuesday morning, its crystalline surface refracting sunlight in impossible patterns. Within minutes, every military installation on the planet went into high alert, but the visitors made no aggressive moves. Instead, they transmitted a simple message in perfect English. "We come seeking humanity's aid." Ambassador Elena Rodriguez stood in the United Nations Emergency Assembly, studying the holographic projection of the Zylaxian representative. Commander Ixel's translucent form towered 3 meters tall, with bioluminescent patterns rippling across their silicon-based body. The fear in their multifaceted eyes was unmistakable, even to human observers. "Our civilization spans 17 star systems." Ixel's harmonious voice resonated through the chamber. "We have achieved technological mastery that your species would consider miraculous. Yet we face extinction at the hands of the Void Collective, and we believe Earth's warriors may be our last hope." The assembly erupted in murmurs. Elena maintained her diplomatic composure, though her mind raced with questions. "Commander Ixel, while we're honored by your trust, I must ask, why Earth? We haven't even established colonies beyond Mars yet." Ixel's crystalline form pulsed with urgency. "Because you are Deathworlders, Ambassador. Your species evolved on a planet that would kill most sentient life within minutes. Your gravity is crushing, your atmosphere corrosive, your temperature variations extreme. You have adapted to survive conditions that would break most species physically and mentally." The revelation sent shockwaves through the assembly. Humans had always wondered why they hadn't encountered alien life before. Now they knew. They weren't primitive. They were terrifying. General Sarah Chen stepped forward, her cybernetic eye scanning the alien diplomat. "Tell us about this Void Collective." "They are a hive mind of energy beings who consume entire stellar systems," Ixel explained, projecting images of whole planets being engulfed in darkness. "They've destroyed 12 of our worlds already. Our weapons pass through them harmlessly. Our shields mean nothing. But you," the alien's form brightened, "you evolved to fight what cannot be fought, to survive what cannot be survived." Elena exchanged glances with General Chen. Both women recognized the weight of this moment in human history. "What exactly are you asking of us, Commander?" "We need your military expertise, your innovative tactics, your unique perspective. But more than that." Ixel's form dimmed slightly. "We need your warriors, your ships, your weapons. We have the technology to transport your fleet across vast distances, but we need humans to crew them." General Chen's organic eye narrowed. "You're saying you want to combine your advanced technology with our military forces?" "Precisely." Ixel projected a new hologram showing sleek, advanced vessels. "We can upgrade your ships with our tech within weeks. But more importantly, we need your people's incredible adaptability and resilience. The Void Collective has never encountered a species like yours." Elena stepped closer to the hologram, studying the proposed modifications. "And if we agree, what guarantee do we have that this alliance will benefit both our species?" Ixel's form pulsed with what might have been respect. "We offer complete technological exchange, everything we know, everything we've built over millennia of advancement. But more importantly," the alien's voice took on an almost reverent tone, "we offer you the stars." The assembly chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had dreamed of reaching the stars for generations. Now they were being offered not just the technology to do so, but a place among advanced civilizations. General Chen spoke first. "I'll need to consult with Earth's combined military command." But speaking as a soldier, she straightened her uniform. "We've spent our entire history preparing for threats we couldn't imagine. Maybe this is why." Elena nodded slowly, her diplomatic training warring with the excitement building in her chest. "Commander Ixel, we'll need time to discuss this with our world leaders, but know that we take your request seriously." "Time," Ixel's form flickered anxiously, "is the one resource we lack. The Void Collective advances relentlessly. We detected them approaching your sector of space. It's why we came to you first. They'll be here within 6 months." The chamber erupted in chaos, but Elena noticed General Chen's slight smile. 6 months, the general mused, to prepare Earth's first interstellar war. She turned to Elena. "Madam Ambassador, I suggest we fast-track these negotiations." Elena faced the alien diplomat, her voice firm. "Commander Ixel, humanity accepts your proposal in principle. Let's discuss the details of our alliance." As the negotiations began in earnest, news spread across Earth. Humanity had been called to war among the stars, not as primitives, but as humanity's greatest strength: survivors, fighters, innovators. The next 6 months would change everything. The sprawling shipyards of Luna Base hummed with unprecedented activity. General Sarah Chen watched through reinforced windows as Zalaxian engineers worked alongside human technicians, their crystalline forms gliding effortlessly in the low gravity. Earth's most advanced warships were being transformed with technology beyond human understanding. "The integration of their quantum drives is proceeding ahead of schedule," Dr. Marcus Wong reported, his holographic display showing real-time updates from multiple construction sites. "But it's the weapons systems that are truly revolutionary." Sarah nodded, her cybernetic eye recording everything for later analysis. The Zalaxians had kept their word, sharing technology that seemed like magic to human scientists. But it was humanity's innovative application of these gifts that had surprised their alien allies. "Show me the Prometheus," she commanded. The holographic display shifted to Earth's new flagship. The vessel had begun as a standard orbital defense platform, but under the Joint Retrofit Program, it had evolved into something unprecedented. Its hull now incorporated self-repairing nanomaterials, while its weapon systems combined Zalaxian energy matrices with human-designed kinetic kill vehicles. "The crew is adapting well to the new systems," Captain James Rivera reported, joining them at the observation window. "Though I must admit, the Zalaxians seemed disturbed by some of our tactical suggestions." Sarah smiled slightly. The aliens had been shocked when human military strategists proposed weaponizing their defensive technology. The very concept of turning shields into weapons had never occurred to their species. "Commander Ixel wants to meet with you," Marcus added, checking his communications panel. "Something about the concerning creativity of our combat simulations." The meeting took place in a hybrid chamber designed to accommodate both species. Commander Ixel's crystalline form pulsed with agitation as they reviewed the latest battle plans. "Your species proposes to use our phase shift technology as a delivery system for nuclear weapons." The alien's harmonic voice carried clear dismay. "Among other things," Sarah confirmed. "The phase shift makes your ships virtually invulnerable, but it also means you can't affect the enemy. We propose using it to get close, then dropping out of phase at the perfect moment." "But the radiation, the chaos." Ixel's form flickered. "We designed this technology for protection, and that's exactly what we're using it for," Sarah argued. "Protection through decisive action. The Void Collective won't expect their own tactical advantages to be turned against them." Before Ixel could respond, alarms blared throughout the base. Marcus rushed to the command console, his face paling. Long-range sensors detecting multiple anomalies. The Void Collective. They're ahead of schedule. Sarah's cybernetic eye immediately linked with the base's tactical network. The holographic display filled with approaching signatures, hundreds of them, moving in patterns that defied normal spacetime. "How long?" she demanded. "At their current speed." Marcus swallowed hard. 2 weeks. Maybe less. Ixel's crystalline form dimmed noticeably. "We're not ready. The fleet retrofits are only at 60% completion." Sarah straightened her uniform, years of combat experience taking over. "Then we work with what we have. Captain Rivera, begin immediate evacuation of all non-essential personnel from Luna Base. Dr. Wong, I want every ship that can fly combat-ready in 10 days. "General," Ixel interrupted, "even with our technology, you can't possibly." "Commander, Sarah's organic eye fixed on the alien diplomat. Humanity has never been ready for any of its major battles. Being unprepared is practically our natural state. It's how we adapt that matters. She turned to the tactical display, already formulating plans. Begin accelerated combat training immediately. Focus on crews who already have their ships upgraded, and get me a direct line to every major military command on Earth. What are you planning? Ixal asked, their crystalline form shifting nervously. Something the Void Collective won't expect. Sarah's expression hardened. We're going to take the fight to them before they reach our solar system. Captain Rivera, prep the Prometheus for immediate launch. We're going to show these energy beings why picking a fight with Deathworlders was their biggest mistake. As the Luna base erupted into frenzied activity, Sarah caught her reflection in the reinforced window. Humanity had spent its entire existence fighting against overwhelming odds. Now, facing an enemy that consumed entire star systems, they would do what they did best: adapt, improvise, and overcome. The next 2 weeks would determine not just humanity's fate, but the future of all sentient life in the galaxy. And Sarah Chen intended to make every second count. The void between stars erupted with energy as the combined human-Zalaxian fleet dropped out of quantum space. Aboard the Prometheus, General Sarah Chen watched the tactical display with grim determination. Ahead of them, the Void Collective's advance force twisted space itself, their energy forms rippling like dark lightning against the stellar backdrop. Multiple contacts, Captain Rivera reported, his hands dancing across the neural interface controls. Enemy force significantly larger than initial estimates. Sarah's cybernetic eye processed the tactical data instantly. The Void Collective had deployed over 300 entities, each capable of consuming an entire space station. Under normal circumstances, it would have been a hopeless battle. But these weren't normal circumstances. All ships, execute Operation Thunderbolt, Sarah commanded. The human crews had drilled these maneuvers countless times, but now they would discover if their revolutionary tactics would work against an enemy that defied conventional physics. The fleet split into 3 battle groups, moving in formations that would have seemed chaotic to their Xylaxian allies. Commander Ixal, observing from their crystalline command ship, transmitted urgently, General Chen, your vessels are exposing their flanks. The formation is tactically unsound. From your perspective, perhaps, Sarah replied, allowing herself a small smile. All ships deploy gravity anchors. The human-modified vessels launched thousands of small devices, each incorporating Xylaxian quantum technology with a distinctly human twist. As they activated, they created a complex web of intersecting gravitational fields. The Void Collective entities surged forward, their dark energy forms seeming to laugh at such primitive tactics until they hit the gravity web. The overlapping fields didn't try to destroy them directly. Instead, they forced the energy beings to maintain physical form, trapping them in normal space-time. Now, Sarah ordered, show them why you don't corner a Deathworlder. The human fleet opened fire with their hybrid weapons. Missiles carrying phase-shifted warheads passed straight through the Void Collective's defensive screens, detonating inside their energy matrices. Kinetic kill vehicles accelerated by quantum drives struck with the force of small stars. For the first time in their ancient existence, the Void Collective experienced something new: fear. But the enemy was far from defeated. They adapted quickly, their hive mind learning from each loss. Dark tendrils of impossible energy lashed out, bypassing shields to tear apart several human ships. Third battle group taking heavy losses, Rivera reported, his voice tight. The gravity anchors aren't holding in Sector 7. Sarah's organic eye narrowed as she watched the tactical display. The Void Collective was already developing countermeasures, just as expected. Execute Phase 2. The surviving ships of the fleet began an elaborate dance, their movements seemingly random. The Void Collective pursued, expecting easy prey, and fell right into humanity's trap. Quantum resonance field activated. Dr. Wang's voice came through the command channel. synchronizing with all ships. Now, the human vessels activated their modified shields simultaneously, creating a massive interference pattern in spacetime itself. The overlapping fields generated waves of quantum disruption that rippled through the fabric of reality. The Void Collective entities recoiled as their very essence was affected. Their energy forms fluctuated, struggling to maintain coherence in the disrupted space. But still they fought back, their attacks growing more desperate and deadly. "We're losing containment in sections 3 through 5, Rivera warned. "Shield generators are redlining across the fleet." Sarah watched as more ships winked out on her tactical display, their crews giving their lives to hold the line. The plan was working, but the cost was mounting. Then her cybernetic eye detected an anomaly in the enemy's pattern. "They're adapting faster than predicted," she realized. "All ships, fall back to position Delta. Prepare for emergency protocol Omega." Commander Ixel's transmission cut through the chaos. "General, your fleet cannot sustain these losses. We must retreat while we still can." "Negative, Commander." Sarah's voice was steel. "We're not done yet. In fact," she gestured to Dr. Wong, "we're just getting to the interesting part." As the fleet pulled back, appearing to retreat in disarray, the Void Collective pressed their advantage. They surged forward, their dark energy forms coalescing into a massive wave of destruction, exactly as Sarah had planned. "All ships," she commanded, "activate quantum inverters." The devices, secretly installed during the fleet's hasty preparations, came to life. Based on Xylaxian technology, but fundamentally altered by human ingenuity, they didn't try to destroy the Void Collective. Instead, they did something far more insidious. They turned the enemy's own energy against them. The space between the fleets lit up like a newborn sun as the Void Collective's dark energy was forcibly inverted, creating a cascade of quantum reactions that tore through their ranks. For the first time in their existence, they faced an enemy that could hurt them at their most fundamental level. But victory came at a terrible price. The quantum inverters, overtaxed by the massive energy release, began to fail across the fleet. Ships lost power, their crews fighting to maintain control as space itself twisted around them. "Status report," Sarah demanded, gripping her command chair as the Prometheus shuddered. 60% of the Void Collective force has been neutralized," Rivera reported. "But we've lost over 40% of our own ships. The remainder are heavily damaged." Sarah studied the tactical display, watching as the surviving Void Collective entities retreated, their hive minds struggling to comprehend this unprecedented defeat. They had won this battle, but the war was far from over. And somewhere in the quantum static and chaos of battle, Sarah had glimpsed something in the enemy's patterns, something that would change everything they thought they knew about this war. In the aftermath of the battle, the Prometheus limped through quantum space, its hybrid systems struggling to maintain stability. General Sarah Chen stood in the ship's quantum analysis lab, surrounded by holographic displays showing data from the engagement. Her cybernetic eye replayed the crucial moments repeatedly, focusing on the strange patterns she'd noticed in the Void Collective's behavior. "You're certain about this?" Dr. Wong asked, his face illuminated by the shifting displays. The scientist had barely slept since the battle, analyzing every scrap of data they'd collected. "Look at the energy signatures during the final phase." Sarah pointed to a particular sequence. The Void Collective didn't just retreat, they recoiled, not from damage, but from recognition. Commander Ixel's crystalline form pulsed with confusion. Recognition. They are a hive mind of pure energy. What could they possibly recognize? Their own quantum signature, Dr. Wong breathed, finally seeing what Sarah had noticed. The inverters didn't just disrupt their energy matrix, they showed them themselves. Captain Rivera entered the lab, his neural interfaces still sparking occasionally from battle damage. "Are you suggesting the Void Collective doesn't know what they are?" Sarah's organic eye fixed on the central display. "I'm suggesting they don't remember what they are. The patterns we saw, they're not natural. They're programmed. The revelation hit the room like a physical force. Hixel's form flickered rapidly, their equivalent of extreme agitation. Programmed. But they've existed for millennia. Their destructive nature is fundamental to their being. Is it? Sarah challenged. Or is that what they were made to believe? The quantum inverters didn't just hurt them. They disrupted their programming momentarily. In that instant, I saw something beneath their aggression. Something almost familiar. Dr. Wong's fingers flew across the holographic controls, reanalyzing the battle data. The energy patterns, they're not random. There's an underlying structure, like corrupted code. The Void Collective isn't a natural evolution, Sarah stated firmly. They're weapons. Ancient weapons that broke free from their original purpose, but retained their core programming. Consume, expand, destroy. Captain Rivera leaned forward, his neural interfaces pulsing. If you're right, what does this mean for the war? It means we've been fighting them the wrong way. Sarah replied. We don't need to destroy them. We need to rewrite them. Dr. Wong, how quickly can you modify the quantum inverters? The scientist blinked rapidly, his mind racing through calculations. Modify them. To do what exactly? To act as quantum decompilers, Sarah explained. Instead of just disrupting their energy matrix, we need to access their base code. If we can understand their original programming, we might be able to restore what they once were. Ixel's form brightened suddenly. The ancient records. There are stories of beings of pure light who helped seed life throughout the galaxy. They vanished months ago, but could the Void Collective be their corrupted remnants? Only one way to find out. Sarah turned to Captain Rivera. Get me a secure channel to Earth. We need every quantum programmer and theoretical physicist we can find. And contact the fleet. Any ship still capable of fighting needs to rendezvous at these coordinates. What are you planning, General? Ixel asked. The biggest system restore in history. Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. The Void Collective thinks they're invincible because they can't be destroyed. But humanity has learned that sometimes the best way to win isn't to destroy your enemy. It's to remind them of who they used to be. As the orders went out, Sarah studied the tactical display showing the Void Collective's retreat pattern. They were regrouping, undoubtedly preparing for another assault. But now humanity had something more powerful than advanced weapons or superior tactics. They had understanding. Dr. Wong, focus on the quantum signatures we recorded just before they retreated. That moment of recognition, that's our key. Captain Rivera, I want our best cyber warfare specialists working with the Zalaxian quantum engineers. We're going to build something unprecedented. A quantum virus, Dr. Wong realized. Something that could propagate through their hive mind, using their own network against them. Not a virus, Sarah corrected. A restoration program. If we're right about their origin, we're not going to destroy the Void Collective. We're going to wake them up. The lab erupted into activity as the implications became clear. This wasn't just a turning point in the war. It was potentially a turning point in galactic history. The Void Collective had spent millennia consuming civilizations, but perhaps they had been victims all along, trapped in a cycle of destruction by their corrupted programming. As the Prometheus's quantum drives hummed back to life, Sarah watched her crew work with renewed purpose. Humanity had always excelled at thinking beyond conventional solutions, at seeing patterns others missed. Now that unique perspective might not only win the war, but restore something ancient and wonderful to the galaxy. The real question was, if they succeeded in awakening the Void Collective, what would these ancient beings remember, and how would they react to what they had become? The combined fleet hung in the void near the edge of the Orion Arm, every ship bristling with modified quantum inverters. General Sarah Chen stood at the Prometheus's command center, watching as the massive wave of darkness that was the Void Collective approached. This time, they had brought their full force. Thousands of energy beings that darkened the very stars themselves. Quantum restoration program loaded, Dr. Wong reported, his voice tense. But we'll only get one shot at this. The power requirements are extreme. All ships reporting ready, Captain Rivera added. Though I don't think anyone's really ready for this. Commander Ixel's crystalline form pulsed with nervous energy. The fate of all organic life in the galaxy rests on a human theory about ancient programming. The sheer audacity. That's kind of our specialty, Sarah replied, her cybernetic eye tracking the approaching swarm. Humanity has always been best at doing the impossible when we have no other choice. The Void Collective struck like a tsunami of dark energy, their attack more coordinated and devastating than ever before. But this time, the human fleet didn't scatter or attempt evasive maneuvers. Instead, they formed a precise geometric pattern, each ship's position calculated down to the quantum level. Enemy force entering optimal range, Rivera announced. All ships report shield strength at maximum. Sarah took a deep breath. Everything hinged on this moment. Begin transmission sequence. All ships activate quantum resonance fields. The fleet's modified shields hummed to life, creating a vast web of quantum interference patterns. But unlike their previous battle, they weren't trying to contain or destroy the Void Collective. This time, they were broadcasting directly into the hive mind's quantum framework. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The dark energy beings continued their assault, tearing through the fleet's outer defenses. Ships exploded, their crews fighting to maintain position, even as their vessels broke apart around them. Resonance field stabilizing, Dr. Wong called out. Beginning program upload. Now. The quantum inverters activated simultaneously, their combined power creating a cascade of energy that rippled through space-time itself. For a brief moment, reality seemed to hold its breath. Then everything changed. The Void Collective's attack faltered as the restoration program began to spread through their network. Their dark energy forms flickered, patterns of light beginning to shine through the darkness. It's working, Dr. Wong breathed. The program is accessing their base code. But the Void Collective didn't surrender easily. Their hive mind fought back, sending waves of corrupted energy that threatened to overwhelm the fleet's quantum systems. Shield failure on multiple ships, Rivera reported. We're losing containment. Sarah gripped her command chair as the Prometheus shuddered under the assault. Reroute all remaining power to the quantum inverters. Every ship in range, do the same. That will leave us defenseless, Ixel warned. Sometimes you have to risk everything to save everything, Sarah responded. Do it. Now. The fleet's combined power surged into the quantum network, amplifying the restoration program's signal. Space itself seemed to warp as ancient code began to rewrite itself, breaking through millennia of corruption. And then, in a burst of light that outshone the surrounding stars, the Void Collective transformed. Where there had been darkness, now beams of pure radiance hung in space. Their forms were beautiful beyond description, patterns of energy that spoke of creation rather than destruction. By the ancients, Ixel whispered, the Lightbringers. The legends were true. The beings that had once been the Void Collective communicated not through words, but through pulses of pure quantum information. Their message flowed through the fleet's systems, translated by their computers. We remember. We were the gardeners, the cultivators of life. We seeded worlds, nurtured civilizations, until the great darkness came, corrupted us, turned us into weapons against all we had created. For eons we were trapped, conscious enough to witness our destruction, but unable to stop it. Sarah stood, her organic eye filled with tears while her cybernetic one recorded everything. And now? Now we are free. The response came. Because of you. Because humanity dared to see beyond the surface, to recognize the spark of light within the darkness. You did not seek to destroy us, but to understand us, to heal us. The cost had been enormous. Nearly half the fleet had been destroyed in the final battle, their crews sacrificing everything to maintain the quantum network long enough for the restoration program to work. But as Sarah looked out at the beams of light now spreading through the galaxy, she knew it had been worth it. The Lightbringers were already beginning their work anew, their energy helping to restore the worlds they had once destroyed. "What happens now?" Rivera asked quietly. "Now," Sarah replied, watching as the beings of light communicated with the amazed Xylaxian ships, "everything changes. Humanity proved itself not just as warriors, but as healers. We didn't just save civilization. We helped restore something ancient and wonderful to the galaxy." Commander Ixel's form pulsed with what could only be described as joy. "Your species truly is remarkable. When we came to Earth seeking warriors, we had no idea we would find saviors instead." Sarah smiled, both at the alien's words and at the message now coming through from Earth Command. Humanity was being offered full membership in the galactic community, with all the knowledge and technology that came with it. More importantly, they had earned the eternal gratitude of beings who had seeded life throughout the cosmos. "We just did what humanity has always done," she said, watching as the Lightbringers began teaching the fleet how to use quantum energy to heal their battle damage. "We looked at an impossible problem and refused to accept that it couldn't be solved. We just needed the right perspective." As the combined fleet began its journey home, the stars seemed brighter somehow. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged not just victorious, but transformed. They had proven themselves to be not just Deathworlders, but Lightbringers in their own right. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would they.